Yeah, when you're next to a blast, that's a lot. Yeah, the blast is not gonna go off on like somewhat discriminate into like whatever is burned, especially for physics is happening. Yeah, that's why they evolved and they give you like your little finger over to at least protect some sensitive part. Not just your crotch and stuff, no. Because people think that the reason why they put these things around is to go off and like make sure that your penis can stay attached. No, it's just that this part of your body, yeah, is a space where your blood flows the fastest because you have big veins over them. So somewhere that's what leads you to bleed the fastest and die. Yeah, so somewhere there to like tactically readjust armor, which cost me an extra $200 on the or $200 or $500 to be somewhat to create a system that go off and prevent fast bleeding and lead to death on the special. Right, so that's where we enter reconstruction and plastic surgery. Yeah, and that's why we have the so-called penis transplant cult over here. That then will lead back inside the domain of plastic surgery, which then lead back into a domain of aesthetic muscle building. And then because of the fact that most of these zoos are like on morphine, that then lead to a domain over here where they have to go off and like find ways to go off and like find the morphine or the medicine at a certain price. Yeah, like insulin. And then Richie, that's why they enter the counterfeit system over here. Within the mercenary ranks and the system over here that go off and contradict the network for what they try to go off like a design as like a proper system. That's related to like anti-prostitution. No, because the reason why I mentioned the sex sector over here is because the sex sector is notorious. The sector is where is like notorious for like bait and switch. Yeah, with that makes it back inside the domain of gambling. Yeah, that makes it back into a system like swapping things, quick clean fix my counterparts around. No, because then it makes it back in the domain or like people that have photographic memories. No, because these were the dudes that they were using to go off and infiltrate, where they could not catch them because of the fact that they could not catch them taking anything up on the special. Yeah, so they use photographic memory for like a whole bunch of spies to be able to somewhat take things inside their heads because they could not scan their heads to go off and see the two. Yeah, they could not pat them down like a diamond mine. But yeah, this so-called photographic memory technique over led to a spy ring. Not that they were counterfeits and system and everything because they formed from like different military. They have like the same doctrine, same factories, same systems, same sciences, same things around the special, same industries. So someone they go off and like someone replace people that die, or they go off and like become talents in like foreign species that they'll go off and like rely on them to go off and like I don't know, operate and do surgery and be well for money on especially like because of the fact that this dude's son over here. Yeah, he's eating crayons. Well, that's the current update of the future of the world, man. If in the evil industries, that's both communist and capitalist. Well, I found my freedom in the domain of art, because the era of these battery cells is done. And the